Yo, let me put out this disclaimer before I even begin. I'm going to say a lot of things that people are not going to like. It's going to be controversial, and I'm more than sure that you will address it in the comment section of this video. But understand this, regardless of whether you like what I have to say or you don't, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and I base my opinions on experiences. Straight up, what I've experienced for, the amount of time that I've been on this planet. Excuse me. And it's just that plain and simple. Let's begin. Not all the time, but there are times when I wish I can get in a time machine and go back to the past, where life was very simple. You know what I'm saying? Of course, we all had to pay bills in the 90s. We all had obligations and responsibilities that we had to, meet up to. But for the most part, life was just a lot more simpler than what it is now. Maybe one of the reasons we didn't have high gas prices. I remember being young and going to the club. No, I'm seriously, this is my word, like a teenager. Going to, not the club, excuse me, let me take it back. Going to the little parties that, high schoolers had, the house parties and stuff like that. And, everybody had to chip in for gas. And we would come up with about $5 to $10, $15. And one of my friends had a Toyota Camry. His mother did, and he used to drive his mom's car, wherever we had to go. And I'm telling you, this is my word, $10, $15 damn near took it a little above half a tank of gas. I remember being older and, getting my first apartment. And then on to the second and the third one. And it never dawned on me yo, man, this for this apartment, the rent is too much. For real. Never. Food was cheaper. There was, at least to my knowledge, there was no such thing as genetically modified foods, with the exception of seedless grapes. That's it. Real talk. Everything was pretty much affordable. There was no such thing as, I don't even think that there was a term called hyperinflation. Yeah, true indeed, we went to wars and all the rest of that stuff, dealing with the presidents, George Bush Sr., and Bill Clinton, and, you know what I'm saying? But for the most part, man, life was so much more different. The internet did exist. But it was on the movies, you know what I'm saying? You would see it and you're like, oh, okay, this must be the future. But it didn't hit, you know what I'm saying, regular people until the early 2000s. It wasn't accessible to regular people. We had cell phones, but that was too, come on, the cell phones was ridiculous, you know what I'm saying? It was I think Sprint, Motorola, and it was someone else that was out. And I remember I did have a cell phone and I didn't hardly use it, you know what I'm saying? I hardly used it, you know what I'm saying? Because the per minute, it was that was the only thing that was really expensive. It was $1 and change per minute or something like that. And it was so bulky and, even the flip phones, they were bulky and stuff. So you really didn't deal with it. You dealt with the beepers. And, we had, pay phones all around the city and stuff. So you get a text, a beep. You go and you get on the phone, you talk, da-da-da. There was no social media. There was no YouTube. In other words, there were no type of distractions or anything that would interfere with human interactions. Straight up. Nowadays, man, I could walk past a woman and she look at me, not even look. It's like I don't exist. I'm an invisible man. When I read that book called Invisible Man, I never thought I never imagined that it would really come true. We had video games, but the video games that we had, we had like, what is it? Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, down to the PlayStation 1, Sega Dreamcast, TurboGrafx 16. But we put those things down. We played them, but we ain't really we wasn't really engaged for hours upon hours upon hours. Our thing was the mall. You go to the mall, you may play some arcade games in the mall. They had an arcade in the mall, you know what I'm saying? And the graphics was way better than, the home video game consoles. It's like, we had more appreciation for human life. We weren't world starring shit. We would take pictures and smile, and it was all about taking pictures for the memories. For the memory. Well, let's take this picture because we just want to time stamp. You know what I'm saying? We want to stamp this time when we have fun at this particular beach or this amusement park, or, you know what I'm saying? Oh, this person's house. And it's just a different day and time, man. The women were beautiful. You know what I'm saying? The women wore their natural hair. There was hardly ever even any makeup. Most of the time when women wore makeup back in the days, it was because they were going to the prom. It was like some type of affair where you had to get dressed up. You know what I'm saying? There was no such thing as no BBLs and it was plastic surgery, but all of that was in Hollywood. It really wasn't accessible to the regular person, you know what I'm saying? Like it is now. Like I just found out that you can actually get your shit cut up and get, if you're a woman wanting to be a man and a man wanting to be a woman, all of that's covered by Medicaid. You can get those surgeries done. We didn't have any of that where you can get a BBL, where you can get your face cut up, testosterone blockers, estrogen blockers. We didn't have any of that. Straight up, and we accepted, we had gays and lesbians, we had that. And we accepted those particular people for who and what they were. Or rather are, excuse me. You know what I'm saying? But the women were just beautiful. We wasn't asking a woman, is that your real ass? We wasn't asking those type of questions. And to make it fair, women didn't have to ask men that were muscular, do you take steroids? Are you on trend? For real. Are those your real pecs? Nowadays, you can get surgery done, and anything that you want to get enhanced on your body, it could get done. As long as you have the money. Which brings me to the next point that I'm making. Back then, it wasn't all about the money. It really wasn't. That's what made the 90s so beautiful. Straight up. Really, I'm gonna tell you what really changed hip hop is when Puff Daddy got involved, when he started talking about the money and the Dom Perignon and the Versace shades and the Louis Vuitton this and that and so forth. You know what I'm saying? Prior to that, man, I'm telling you for real, we did have gangster rap, don't get it twisted, but we also had native tongues. Tribe Called Quest, Queen Latifah, Black Sheep, Leaders of the New School, De La Soul. You see, I don't have a problem with hip hop, having several genres of music. I have no problem with it. I don't have no problem with the gangster rap and this rap and that rap. But all I'm saying is make it balanced. Balance it back out. That's what we had in the 90s that you all don't have now. It's all negative. Straight up. Let's real talk, man. I'm not going to sit here and shed a tear. But I will say that the quality of living or quality of life is a hard pill to swallow nowadays, man. This quality of life. It's whack. It's like I went to the West Indies, you know what I'm saying, where my family is from. Well, half of my family's from. And this was years back. It was a couple years back, 3-4 years back. And I was like, man, they live like this and live like, they literally live like about 5 to 10 years behind us. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not lying, man. I'm digging it now. I'm digging it now. I went to a party, a birthday party, and I'm looking around like, how are they happy and they ain't got this, and that, and da-da-da-da-da, like we have in America. They don't have fast food restaurants. Everything closes at 9, 10 o'clock. How are they happy? But I know why they're happy. Because they have something, and that something is called love, that far surpasses any type of superficial, materialistic shit. Straight up. Nowadays, it's all about, yo, how much money you got? What can you do for me? Everybody is selfish. What can you do for me? How can you help me out? Oh, you can't help me out? So you asking me, okay, what can I do for you while I'm giving you me? What? You can't cook, you can't clean? You can't give me any type of advice? I can't even depend on you for a shoulder to cry on? That's why I say nowadays, they're mass producing genetically modified Negroes. They may look like black people. They may walk like black people, but they sure as hell don't act like it. Or should I say, genetically modified N-I-G-G-E-R-S's. But that, to be honest with you, a N-I-G-G-E-R is a genetically modified black person. Because that's not how we are. And to be real with you, they're mass producing genetically modified, how can I put it, people in general. Real talk. Now everything is like a big melting pot. Like I want to be able to go to the white side of town and enjoy white culture, Asian culture, Latino culture, black culture. I don't want it all mixed up. I don't want the gumbo shit. I don't want that. Real talk. I remember back in the 90s, you know, we were self-educated. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have the internet. You had to go and research. You had to find the truth. And it was hidden in a book. But it was available. It was available. We had these things called libraries. You know, man, it was just a real different day and time back in the days, man. And I can say that I really, truly appreciate the 90s, you know, now more than I ever did when I was living in it. Because I thought that, you know, hip-hop was never gonna change. I thought hip-hop was gonna be, you know, hit after hit after hit. I thought, come on, man, really ask yourself, when was the last summer hit that you've heard? For real. I'm talking about summer hit like, you can catch me in the club, or lean back. I'm on a freak, other week I'm on a freak. When that shit came out, I was in New York. Everybody was doing the Poppy C. Oh! For real. And what happened in New York? I ain't talking about this New York. I'm talking about the old one. Things have definitely changed. Definite. And I always wondered why. Seriously, this is my word. I always wondered why older people, when I was young, older people were nothing but grumpy old farts. Now I know, because I'm one of them. I realize why. It's because you remember how things used to be a lot more simpler than what it is now. Simple than what it is now. We didn't know about no virus back in the 90s. Could you imagine in the 90s if we had to sit at home for damn near 2 years? We would have had a nervous breakdown. All of the block parties in the summers, all of the house parties, the clubs. Man, they don't even have no real black clubs nowadays. And even if you do have black clubs, or clubs period, nobody don't dance. Nobody dances in these clubs. They all hookah lounges and shit. Or you renting out little cubicles, but they ain't really cubicles. They're just cheap ass sofas that are boxed in. People standing up on the sofas taking selfies and shit. You go to these family reunions, these family gatherings such as Christmas, Thanksgiving, 4th of July, everybody's on their cell phone. What kind of fun is that? You go to the beach, you go to Myrtle Beach, you have, you know what I'm saying? You think, oh, I'm going to have some fun with my family, I'm going to have fun with my friends and this and that and so forth. People too busy taking pictures, them trying to putting it on Instagram or just rather social media, period. Ain't no fun and excitement in this damn day and time. This shit is some manufactured bullshit. That's what it is. You goddamn right. If I could be Marty McFly, you know what I'm saying, and deal with that crazy ass scientist and take my ass back to the past instead of the future, I would. That's real talk. The not only was the music good, the music was great. You know what I'm saying? R&B existed. Where the hell is R&B at? Please tell me. Because let me tell you something. I'm not trying to, rile up the beehive. But this is real talk. Beyonce wouldn't be the queen bee. For real. If some of these elders didn't pass on or pass away. Like back in the 90s, Beyonce was just part of Destiny's Child. She was a mediocre person, singer. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And in my opinion, Fantasia is a way better singer than Beyonce. Now, as an entertainer, hey, hands down, Beyonce is who she is. But nowadays, straight up, the so-called powers that be, the music industry picks your celebrities or your stars. For real. Back in the days, you had to have real talent. For real. Now, all you gotta have is a pretty face. That broad Saweetie or whatever her name is, she sold what, 5,000 copies? She ain't sweating it because she don't care about hip-hop. Not only the music was great, but the movies were too. It's just crazy to me, man. I hear about this Avatar 2. I'm not going to see that shit. Even when it goes, comes up on, Netflix or something like that, Prime Video, whatever, I'm not going to look at it. I'm not going to look at 3.5 hours of goddamn CGI. I'm not. It ain't going to fuck my eyes up. They tell you on some of these video games, if you have epileptic fits and all the rest of that stuff, not to look at that type of shit, the flashes and the colors and all the rest of that stuff. I'm not looking at to say that I have that. I'm just saying how can I bear looking at 3.5 hours, close to 3.5 hours of CGI? Y'all pay money to go see that. We weren't all into fucking high fashion and shit, European clothes. We had our own shit. Hip-hop was a culture. It ain't a culture now. It's dead. It's gone. But hip-hop was a real culture back then. It was alive. Straight up. We had our own clothes, Carca 9, Cross Colors. The list goes on, man. Dada Supreme, Mecca. The list goes on, and I had just about every damn thing. Nietzsche. Was Nietzsche black? Yeah, Nietzsche was black. And Echo. Mark Echo wasn't. But I wore Mark Echo too. Or Echo Unlimited. Sean John. Rockefeller. Well, Rockaware. State property. I wasn't never into the state property stuff. But we was just doing our own thing, man. And I don't know what to say, man. I don't know what to say. I just... Whew. 2023. It's crazy. It's crazy. Football was better. You know what I'm saying? Basketball was better. NBA, NFL was better. Everything was just so much more better in the 90s. And I'm not trying to big up my generation. You know what I'm saying? Generation X. Because truth be told, for real, this is like, what I'm about to say, you can rewind this shit 1,000,001 times. Truth be told, I'm going to tell you the real generation that was really, really popping in my mind was my mom's generation. You know, like the 70s and 80s. That's when it was really, really popping. You know what I'm saying? But the reason why I say our generation, Generation X, was so fire or so lit is because we were coming out, like our moms, we were looking at Soul Train. You know what I'm saying? We had the Cosbys. Well, not just Bill Cosby, Fat Albert. You know what I'm saying? We had like Hong Kong Phooey. We had the black cartoons. We had the black exploitation movies. You know what I'm saying? All of that. Pam Grier, Dolomite. We grew up on that. Y'all. And don't give me, I wouldn't want to live in the 80s and the 90s because of the crack epidemic and blah, blah, blah. Man, whatever. We prevailed. We prevailed. And we were still some great people. Yeah, man. Oftentimes I reminisce.